Today, I'm sharing with you my list of top 5 Giallo movies to brighten your day. I know, who knew that a murder, mystery, horror, thriller could cheer you up? Well, I think they can, and I've got 5 that should hopefully do it for you. For number 1, I have Death Steps in the Dark from 1977, directed by Aldo Ricci. Luciano, an Italian photographer, is traveling with his girlfriend Irene in a crowded train to Athens. As the train passes through a tunnel, the car falls dark. When the light returns, a woman has been murdered with Luciano's letter opener. Luciano is detained in Greece as the main suspect while the investigation is underway. Unfortunately, this was the first murder of many. This film is just fun. Not only that, it's funny. I've always called this the funny Giallo in my own mind. And while this isn't like a top tier Giallo by any means, it's still really watchable. And if you're like into Giallo and can appreciate the elements and just the overall like 70s vibe, then you will enjoy this one, I think. Leonard Mann is the lead here, and he is quite a lovable character. And then his girlfriend, her character is named Irene, and I've said this before, but she's like one of my favorite Giallo characters ever because she's so funny. It's kind of similar to like the roles that we see Eva Aline cast in, like kind of just airheaded and goofy, but very, very cheerful. We also have a very goofy cop and a fairly interesting story and plenty of Giallo elements, like I said, to scratch that Giallo itch. And we have a lot of comedy as well, including like some cross-dressing and stuff. I don't know why that is still funny, but in certain contexts, it is, okay. And yeah, while this film isn't the most logical series of events, it's still fun. From all I could find, the only available streaming option of this movie is to rent on Amazon Prime. Best Gialli to brighten your day, number 2 is The Case of the Bloody Iris from 1972, directed by Giuliano Carnameo. This movie is about a model named Jennifer. She recently escaped a sex cult and is trying to leave the past behind her. Jennifer and her fellow model friend Marilyn move into an apartment that was recently vacated thanks to their connection to the architect, Andrea. The thing is, the apartment was vacated when the previous tenant was murdered in the apartment. It seems Danger did not leave with the last tenant because soon Jennifer becomes the target of a killer herself. I know I just did a whole review on this movie, but this movie is what inspired me ultimately to make this list of cheerful Gialli. This is a well-lit, funny Giallo that doesn't ever take itself too seriously, and it never really gets very dark. So you get a lot of the Giallo mood and the beautiful faces and fashion without any like real disturbing content. It has a fun, cheerful, like boppy soundtrack and plenty of funny little moments and funny characters as well, including I would say kind of a cowardly George Hilton and a unhinged roommate. I like this film more and more every time I watch it, and it's definitely just one to brighten your day. You can currently watch this on Shudder, Tubi, and YouTube. Number 3, I'm gonna say Four Flies on Grey Velvet from 1971, directed by Dario Argento. I know, I don't give Argento enough love. I usually don't include him on any of my lists because I just feel like he's a given, right? But I do think Four Flies on Grey Velvet is a little underrated and a lot less accessible too, which is quite a shame because I like the film a lot. Oh, let me give you the synopsis. One night during a confrontation, musician Roberto accidentally kills a stranger. Even worse, there was a witness to the crime, a witness with a camera. Whoever this witness is begins terrorizing Roberto. Roberto descends into paranoia as he's caught between fleeing, confronting the tormentor, or going to the police. Okay, so this isn't overtly the most cheerful Giallo, but I did settle on this one for a few reasons. It's very like chill and cozy and comfortable. Just something about the vibe in this film is just cozy. There's a certain strange calmness throughout. And we do have some comedy. There are many cartoonish, silly characters in this film, like a man named God, the private investigator, the professor, the mailman, and we even have a parrot named Jerk Off. I rewatched it for the purpose of making this video, and I really rather like it. I think it's very watchable and very enjoyable. And the ending also is really funny. I'm sure it was unintentional, but it's really funny. It elicited a lot of laughter out of my husband and me, so I think this is a good one to brighten your day. The only way I could find for you to watch this besides buying it on physical media is currently on YouTube, but of course that could change at any moment. My number 4 cheerful giallo is Naked You Die from 1968. I think it's aka The Young, the Evil, and the Savage, but I really like Naked You Die. A trunk with a body in it arrives at an exclusive finishing school of college-age women. Soon after, murders begin on campus. When the police begin their investigation, one of the students, Jill, thinks she can help solve the mystery. So even though this is a murder mystery, it is actually really quite pleasant. We are in the 60s where things are often a lot lighter, but I think in order to compensate, the film inserts a lot of quite charming comedy. It's also gorgeous to look at. It's very lush, and we have just flowers everywhere. It's like a really botanical giallo. One of the main characters, maybe the main character, I don't know, Jill, she's quite quirky and funny. This is probably one of the most cheerful gialli I've seen so far. And while it didn't impress me upon the first watch because it's not very violent or not very sexy or anything like that, now that I understand the broader spectrum of giallo a little bit more, this is quite a pleasant one to revisit. And if you just want something light that still has that giallo mood. The setting is almost therapeutic, and yeah, it's just very cheerful and very colorful. You can watch Naked You Die on YouTube, baby, at least at the time of me filming this. And finally, we're gonna wrap this list up with Deadly Sweet from 1967, directed by Tinto Brass. Bernard meets a mysterious young girl named Jane. When Jane stumbles upon a corpse, she and Bernard take off on a whirlwind adventure trying to track down who is responsible for the murder. Now, admittedly, this is not a typical giallo, and this was in the 60s before giallo like reached its golden age and like became what we typically know it as. But this film is wild. It's colorful, very like rock and roll, psychedelic, kind of like artsy, pop artsy, and it's hilariously absurd. But listen, Eva Aulin's darling face will always cheer me up. This film's off the wall, like the others in this list, not very dark, but it actually has more of like a comic book feel. And I would say this would cheer you up as long as you're not hoping for a cohesive plot or anything like that. This is more like an experience than a story, but I think it's just visually engaging in a way that will kind of uplift you. I just personally enjoy the psychedelic show of it all and the enigmatic Eva. It's just another movie that doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's just fun. Where to watch this one? I think I originally watched it on YouTube maybe, but I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere for streaming. So I'm sorry, but of course that could change at any moment as well. You can buy a physical copy, and I did find a low quality Italian version on YouTube. It has no subtitles, so I don't even know if you'd want to look at that. And there you have it, my top 5 gialli to cheer you up and to brighten your day. What do you think? Have I missed anything? Let me know below. I do have 3 honorable mentions for you. Death Walks at Midnight, of course. I didn't include that one because I have it on my top gialli for beginners list. Same with Eyeball. That's another cheerful Giallo that is on my Gialli for Beginners list, so I didn't want to duplicate it here. And finally, the last contender that I seriously considered for this video was Murder Rock Dancing Death by Lucio Fulci. And upon further consideration, I realized that the film itself isn't very cheerful. The thing that brightens my day is the dancing. I love the dancing, but overall the film is more like bleak and gray and dark. So I ended up going with Four Flies on Grey Velvet instead of Murder Rock. But Murder Rock, Eyeball, and Death Walks at Midnight are also great, cheerful Gialli if you need a little bit more. And check the comment sections to see if some kind commenters have added more contenders. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the list. I had fun making it, but it was kind of hard to put together. I hope you have a cheerful day, and I'll see you next time. Ciao for now.